Have you ever wondered what happens when a TV show crosses the line between funny and downright bizarre? American Dad is often compared to Family Guy, but many fans feel it has its own unique style of humor. Known for its wacky cartoon antics, the show sometimes ventures into controversial territory. One episode that left viewers shocked is Tapped Out. In this episode, Francine Smith, the loving mother figure, has been secretly feeding her son Steve her breast milk for years. It's a strange and uncomfortable plotline that raises many questions about the boundaries of comedy. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more intriguing content. A premise that pushes boundaries. At first, the episode's premise seems like a joke that gets stretched too far. It revolves around the shocking revelation that Francine has been secretly feeding her son, Steve, her breast milk well beyond what's considered acceptable. For some viewers, this setup might provide dark humor, but for others, myself included, the episode becomes uncomfortable, especially with its focus on infantilizing Steve. Francine's character is often compared to Lois from Family Guy. While Lois tends to be more laid back and carefree, Francine is highly invested in her role as a mother, especially with Steve, her youngest child. In earlier episodes like Iced Babies, we already saw Francine struggling with Steve growing up and becoming independent. In that episode, she panicked at the thought of Steve outgrowing her, leading her to smother him in an attempt to maintain their bond. Tapped Out takes Francine's overprotectiveness to a new, bizarre level, creating an unsettling storyline that some viewers may find too extreme. Francine's struggle with Steve's independence. The episode starts with Steve wanting more independence, beginning with choosing his own clothes. Francine reluctantly agrees, but it soon becomes clear that she's been keeping a tight grip on him in a very unusual way, by secretly adding her breast milk to his food. This surprising twist is discovered by the family's pet fish, Klaus, who reacts with shock and disgust. The idea that Francine has kept Steve dependent on her through her breast milk adds an unsettling layer to the episode. While American Dad is known for pushing boundaries with its humor, this storyline seems to cross into uncomfortable territory. For some viewers, it might offer dark humor, but for others, it feels more disturbing than funny. The plotline raises questions about the lengths to which Francine will go to keep her son close. It's a stark contrast to the usual comedic, over-the-top scenarios seen on the show. This episode leaves many viewers split on whether it's a clever twist or simply too far-fetched and awkward. Relationship between Francine and Steve. A major issue with the episode is its focus on the uneasy relationship between Francine and Steve. American Dad has often tackled themes of overprotective parenting, but Tapped Out ramps up the intensity to a disturbing level. As Steve tries to gain more independence, Francine becomes increasingly desperate to keep their close bond intact. The episode gets even more uncomfortable as Steve starts to believe that his lack of energy is due to not having his mother's milk anymore. He concocts a bizarre plan to keep getting the milk by suggesting they gradually wean him off, but only after his big school play where he wants to perform at his best. Francine, thrilled by his determination, agrees to continue secretly providing the milk. This plot twist adds a layer of discomfort as Francine's actions become more extreme. Instead of supporting Steve's efforts to grow up, she clings to her controlling behavior. The episode explores the lengths to which Francine will go to keep her son dependent on her, making the situation feel more unsettling than humorous for many viewers. A side plot that offers comic relief. While the main storyline of Tapped Out centers on the strange relationship between Francine and Steve, the episode includes some subplots for comic relief. Stan, Steve's dad, buys a new turtleneck and spends much of the episode debating whether he can pull off the look. At the same time, Roger, the family's alien, is trying to direct a school play. He struggles to find a good subject for his documentary, leading to some humorous moments. These side stories add a touch of humor and lighten the mood, but they don't completely shift the focus away from the unsettling main plot. The bizarre and uncomfortable dynamic between Francine and Steve remains at the heart of the episode, making it hard to fully escape the more disturbing elements of their relationship. The consequences of Francine's actions. As the episode goes on, Francine's obsession with keeping Steve close takes a darker turn. Steve starts feeling unusually tired, and Francine convinces him it's because he's not getting her breast milk. However, it's revealed to the audience that Francine has been secretly drugging Steve with sleep-inducing medication, making him think his fatigue is due to the lack of milk. Things get even more extreme when Francine comes up with a wild plan. She exposes herself to bees and mixes bee venom into Steve's milk. Her goal is to make him sick enough to break his dependence on the milk. Unfortunately, this plan backfires spectacularly, leading to Steve falling into a coma from the bee stings and losing a year of his life. The situation quickly spirals out of control, highlighting the dangerous lengths Francine is willing to go to maintain her bond with Steve. The episode's disturbing message. Although the episode tries to stay funny with its absurd plot, the underlying message is pretty unsettling. Francine's actions come off as those of a well-meaning but misguided mother who can't let go of her child. In her desperate attempt to keep Steve close, she ends up causing him real harm and emotional damage. This over-the-top portrayal of a mother-child relationship where things go way too far makes many viewers uncomfortable. It's no surprise that the episode has stirred up a lot of debate among fans, comparing Francine to other TV moms. Francine's behavior in Tapped Out is really different from how other TV moms are usually shown in animated comedies. While moms like Lois from Family Guy or Marge Simpson from The Simpsons often stay in the background during wild storylines, Francine is at the center of this troubling plot. Her extreme obsession with keeping Steve dependent on her breast milk goes way beyond what we've seen on American Dad before. In earlier episodes, Francine has shown signs of being overprotective, but Tapped Out takes this to a whole new level. The episode shifts from being just bizarre to downright unsettling, making many viewers wonder how far the show is willing to go just for shock value. A subdued resolution. By the end of the episode, it seems like Francine has finally learned her lesson, but the damage to Steve has already been done. After spending a whole year in a coma, Steve wakes up and the family tries to move on from the bizarre events. Francine seems to realize she made a big mistake, but there's not much focus on how her actions will affect Steve in the long run. The episode ends on a low note, with the family going about their lives as if nothing unusual happened. This lack of a strong resolution only adds to the uneasy feeling many viewers have after watching the episode. Final thoughts on Tapped Out. Tapped Out is one of the most controversial episodes of American Dad. Known for its outrageous humor and wild storylines, the show usually pushes boundaries. But this episode goes even further. Francine's extreme efforts to keep Steve close are deeply unsettling, and the focus on treating him like a baby makes it even more uncomfortable. While there are some funny moments, like Stan's struggles with his new turtleneck and Roger's chaotic school play, the main plot is hard to watch for many. The episode tries to tackle the risks of overly controlling parenting, but it's wrapped up in a story that some viewers find too strange and disturbing. In the end, Tapped Out divides opinion. Some fans might enjoy its dark humor, while others find it flawed and unsettling. No matter what, it's an episode that will likely stay with viewers long after it's over, whether for better or worse. So, what do you think about Tapped Out? Did the episode go too far, or do you find its dark humor entertaining? It certainly raises questions about how far a show can push the boundaries for the sake of comedy. Is there a point where things just stop being funny? With episodes like this, American Dad shows that it's willing to explore controversial topics, but not everyone will find it appealing. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite shows.